I want to see what the NFL is about to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because that's huge.
That's huge.
Huge.
One owner came out and said so.
Who, Mike
Oh, did
Tomlin? I
It
mean,
was like,
you said owner.
uh, yeah.
Mike Tomlin put something out yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
saying what?
We the Steelers stand in solidarity with the movement or something.
See,
I didn't really.
that's cute, but that should be
Yeah,
coming from
but
That's
Rooney.
cute.
before, like y'all was pulling all
That should
kind
be
of
coming
stuff,
from
like
Rooney.
we're staying in the locker room during the national anthem and all types of trying to not make no waves, whatever. Then I saw that part one of that interview Roger Goodell had with the one guy who does the interviews that are uncomfortable
Ocho.
conversations with a black man.
Yeah.
Like, and now you're talking about in hindsight, you I guess you would apologize to Cap or whatever. I was just like rolling my eyes, like,
But even that though, we all know Roger Goodell. Even though you're paid $400 million a year, you're a puppet. You're a puppet. You don't have
400 million a year.
you don't have no power. Period. No power. The owners have all the power, so you can apologize to Cap all you want. If those owners don't want him in the league, he's not getting in the league.
Then they showed a picture because Roger Goodell, like they showed this picture of how his father marched alongside Coretta Scott King in the civil rights movement and da da da. I'm like, all right, so why weren't you more vocal in support of Colin Kaepernick?
Because guess
Even
Right.
who's signing
even
those checks? Jerry Jones and them is signing those checks. He's
mm,
getting paid by the owners.
mm,
And that was the problem they had as far as even giving him that amount of money. The only reason why he was getting that amount of money is because the NFL was bringing in so much revenue. So they had to renew Roger Goodell's contract. But Jerry Jones, he actually had a lawsuit against Roger Goodell and them because he felt like he shouldn't have been getting paid that much money.
he felt like Roger shouldn't have been getting paid that much
Mm-hmm.
money. 400 million a year. That is so much money. like,
The life, the privilege.
I,
like you're
but
making
I know
you
when it comes to
you
power though, he don't have any though. I know that much.
even after 1 year, you already solidified generational wealth, especially if you are smart with your investments and stuff.
I need to I need to see something from Jerry Jones though. I need to see something from them because they were so much against their like he was like on that that's one of my if somebody on my team knew that they ain't even playing.
Or
And it's crazy because if they would have listened and just took the time, and we're gonna go back to that word again, empathy, or just to even want to know why Cap was kneeling. If they would have anybody would have took the time out to just we probably it would be a different scenario. And it's been 4 years since Cap took his first knee or whatever, and here we are talking about the same shit. And,
yeah, and
now they should have listened.
But they still don't
Now,
get it. Did you hear Brian Urlacher's comment
what did he say?
talking about he don't understand why the athletes are um, boycotting taking the day off over somebody who was basically was he had issues with the law. He said
but
Okay.
but that I feel like those type of statements, the fact that Roger Goodell admitted in this interview with this guy that you were aware that they changed the narrative, but yet you didn't. You have the privilege. That's the definition of white privilege for you to ignore the fact that you know they're changing the narrative of why Kaepernick is kneeling, and now that all this stuff is happening now, you can admit that. But at the time, you knew that the narrative was being changed, but yet it didn't impact you. You had the privilege of not even. All right,
Acknowledging it.
but
right.
that's what they do with everybody that they don't want in the league. They change the narrative. So I mean, I'm not surprised they kept a lid on it. They did the same thing with Terrell Owens. They did the same thing with a lot. They was doing the same thing with AB. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Sneeze
Mm-hmm.
without them saying something different, but it's
Yeah, but I
always
think the narrative, the the league, Terrell Owens and AB, those are their specific personal issues. The thing with Cap is something that was impactful to an entire demographic of people. So I think the difference with them changing the narrative here, you, the league could have come out looking like really good to me, and I feel like they dropped the ball with this
but
one.
I feel
They
like it's the
really did.
I feel like
Even
it's
if you're
the
looking at it from a sorry, even if you're looking at it from a just a PR standpoint, and us trying to look at, I feel like they would have did way better in support of Cap and asking him to be involved in certain initiatives when it comes to the league than like blackballing him, shutting him out, allowing people to change the narrative. It would have went a better way.
for us.
But no, I think it would have went a better way for the league too. They
I
just
don't know
weren't
about
they
that.
weren't able to see it at that time, I think.
It's
But
still a good old boys league, and I feel like that's why I was saying the thing about To and all of them. They all didn't fall in line. If you don't fall
mhm.
in line, they're going to paint you out to be the bad person. I
Yeah,
don't think
but
that they knew that Colin Kaepernick situation was going to be as big as it is, but he still wasn't falling in line, and that's why they changed the narrative.
yeah, but I,
Because
I also think too, if you look at how even though he was being blackballed with Nike saying that they still have his endorsement deal, people were so hype about that. And they ignored the fact that Nike still has to deal with the NFL.
yeah,
We're
that
just
was
happy
weird.
that
That, that's
we're
that was
just
real
happy
weird to
that
me.
Cap still has his endorsement deal. Yeah, Nike, way to stand up, way to stand in solidarity, blah blah blah. So from an optic standpoint, I think it could have worked out in the NFL's favor. I think so, but I guess
I
hindsight
don't
is
know
twenty
because we
twenty.
always look at things from our point of view, and that's the same thing about the politicians and the athletes. Yeah, the athletes might be able to get in the politicians' ear, but who's in the other ear telling them don't vote for the change? Like that person, that Republican or whoever's on that other side saying don't vote for the change may have way more power than the LeBron or whoever the owners of the Bucks. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
that those people on the other side that don't want things to change. There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
And those are the sponsors that the NFL feared it would be pulled if they did.
Mm-hmm.
So if a Coca Cola or a Pepsi pull their product from the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a million more black people watching the NFL, who actually wins in that?
Yeah, but and I think like now what I'm speaking of hindsight is 2020. But I think that I mentioned this prior to the pandemic. But now that we went through the pandemic and you see all of these companies standing in solidarity with the movement, and now we're looking like up, the NFL dropped the ball. But even back then, before we went through this whole COVID-19 pandemic, I think I was trying to say that it would have been in their better interest to support Cap, even if you
There's
wasn't
still
gonna
a
put him
lot of
back on the
companies
team.
out there that ain't standing in solidarity of us, though. We just don't use them. Like
Yeah,
there's,
or maybe we do and we're not aware.
or they might be capping too. They might be.
Yeah, I think a lot of them were definitely capping, but because it's
It's
the
like
movement and
we
because it's
stand in
getting
solidarity.
so much, it's because it's getting so much attention, you know.
Especially
Yeah.
with the record labels.
Hmm. So I don't know.
It's
But
all.
we got to get somewhere though. That's the thing. So even them doing it for 2 days or whatever, you know, kudos
It's
to them,
something.
man.
It
Yeah.
was something.
Hmm.
Thank you.
But I know all them racist people wiping their hair like, "Whew, it was a close call. It was a close call, Gerald."
Oh,
It's not on that beat.